When's the last time you spoke with your guardian angel? This is Robert Manni, host of Guys TV, and this week my special guest is Irish mystic Lorna Byrne. It all starts right here, right now on Guys TV. You can also catch me on KCAA Radio here in Southern California, Guys Radio, my worldwide podcast, and now UK Health Radio worldwide. Guys TV, Guys Radio, thanks for your support. Okay, Guys Radio, the interview portion of our show, and I've got a very special guest. As you know, on Guys Radio, over the years, we've interviewed so many metaphysical teachers and spiritual teachers and just a lot of people who are connected with spirit and source and have helped us out. And one of the things we do on the show is try to get information out there that all of our listeners and viewers can consider. And I've got a very special guest today. Let me tell you a little bit about her. We're going to talk about angels with Lorna Byrne. She's devoted her life to remind humanity of the spiritual potential within us all. She's been seeing and talking to angels since she was a baby. She sees angels physically, not just through meditation or visualization. She actually sees them and they guide her life. She's the author of 7 best-selling books, including Angels in My Hair, The True Story of Modern Day Mystic. She's devoted to reminding humanity of the spiritual potential that resides within all of us. And today we're going to talk about her experiences, including her physical gift seeing the unseen world of angels, and also how they can guide us each and every day. And Lorna is going to teach us how to work with our angels and connect with our angels. And she's also got a sanctuary center in Ireland where people of all walks of lives and beliefs can come together, deepen their connection with spirit and with Lorna and through nature. So let's get to it right now, because I'm very excited about my very special guest, Lorna Byrne. She's got a new book called Angels in My Hair. It's really her life story. So welcome to Guys Radio, Lorna.
It's my pleasure, Robert, to be on your radio show, and I'm really looking forward to giving all the information I can to your listeners and inspiring them.
Fantastic. And you're coming to us today from in Ireland?
I'm in Ireland. I'm actually in my own home. I'm in a tiny little room here, and everything is working, so that's good.
You look good. You sound good. Everything's perfect. So can you explain, let's start at the beginning and for some context, what exactly are angels and why are they here? And are they here to help us, or what are they for? What are angels?
Angels they're spiritual beings. They're this light. This is the only way I can describe them. And they give a human appearance within the light. And they have told me that they are neither male nor female. But at times we might feel your guardian angel is female, and it will do that for you, or it's male in that way. And one other thing I love about them is, they don't have to change their clothing like we do. It's like it's done. It's the clothing is the angel as well, and they can change their appearance many times. The other thing about them is, they don't always show their wings. To me, when an angel shows wings, to me, I feel very privileged, because it doesn't happen all of the time, very rarely. And every single human being has a guardian angel. Mm-hmm. And that is one thing I love, because the guardian angel never leaves you for 1 second. So you're never alone. It's there to help you and to guide you through life. It's there to allow you to know that you're loved unconditionally, and to your guardian angel, you are their number one. You're unique and perfect. And no matter, how would I say, their love is so incredible, because, the way we might feel, you let yourself down, or you said something bad to a person, or you did something that wasn't really very nice, and you straight away feel, well, everyone will hate you for that. But the lovely thing about your guardian angel, no matter what, it loves you unconditionally. And I love that. And the other thing about the guardian angel, it's the gatekeeper of your soul. But there is so many angels, different types of angels that help us in our life. And I would just say to everyone, whether you believe or not, you know, you have a guardian angel, and maybe try and put that doubt away and give yourself a chance to believe and ask your guardian angel for help. I know it's helping you already, you know, it's doing everything possible, but if you kind of say, okay, I'll give this a go, you know, maybe the first thing you can do is just say to your guardian angel in the morning, good morning, I know you're with me, help me through this day. And you can ask for a sign as well. Lots of people ask for signs. Sometimes I'm told they never get their signs, you know, but most people would say they did, you know, and sometimes most people will just ask for a feather, you know, or a flower, or they might ask for just to feel good, to feel love within themselves, you know, to feel peaceful. And many a time they would tell me they would feel that just coming over them in that way. And that's your guardian angel, I would say, wrapping its arms around you.
Okay. Have angels ever been human?
No, and I love when I'm asked that question, because at first I used to be very kind of embarrassed, you know, because I was feeling emotional for the angels. But no, they weren't. They have never been human. Angels are creatures that were created long, long ago, before you and I, or before life in that sense. And you know, the way we put angels on pedestals, well, the angels have us on a pedestal that is so, so high that, you know, you could never reach it. And the other thing about angels is that, you know, they just love us so, so much. And even though we put them on pedestals, we are more than any angel ever could be. And again, that's because of your soul, you know, that spark of light of God. Even if you don't believe in God, you know, I'm afraid you have a soul. I can't prove it. I would love to be able to, but the angels, since I was a child, have just taught me so much. And I'm dyslexic, as you know, badly. So I shouldn't be sitting here talking to you. You know, that shouldn't be happening. But again, people would say, you know, it happened for you, so maybe it can happen for me. I would often hear from college students and all of that saying, well, if you could do it, Lorna, I can do it.
Fantastic. Let me ask you, but let's talk a little bit about guardian angels. So everybody is assigned a guardian angel, and that guardian angel, my understanding is, stays with you throughout your life. And from what I've read, you can pick up other angels along the way that may help out with specific aspects of your life. So is that true, number one? And secondly, how does the guardian angel get assigned to you? And if you're just living in this linear time frame of, let's say, 70 years or whatever, what is the guardian angel doing before your incarnation? And if we do get reincarnated, do you get the same guardian angel if you go into a different persona, or if you're on another planet or whatever? How does that all work?
Well, if I don't answer that question fully, ask what I missed.
Okay.
Well, I would say to you, everyone has a guardian angel, and your guardian angel would have been assigned to you, your soul, when you were in heaven. You met your guardian angel, and you knew everything of what was going to happen within your life, but you knew you had choices and free will. You could change it if you wished, and you knew even, you know, the circumstances of your parents, but you chose them and you love them anyway. And I suppose there's always that hope that your parents will turn out to be the best possible. But we have to remember, parents do their best, you know,
Sure.
in life in that way. And you asked about how did angels come about? And the only way I can explain that is that they were created long ago. you know, before the universe, before life itself.
Okay. How does your who assigns? Is it spirit or source that assigns your guardian angel to you, or is there archangels do that? And how does that all work?
I have to smile. I would have to say it's not an archangel. I would have to say it's God, because I have been shown where the guardian angel and the soul, before it's even conceived, is standing in front of God, standing there and being given all of the information. And one thing, the guardian angel is told to take care of this child, you know, and bring it back home again. And I think that is very, very beautiful, because at the moment of conception, your guardian angel travels with you, your soul, and your soul goes into this tiny little egg that's going to become a human being. And I guess at times we forget that, you know, we are a human being, but we're a spiritual being as well. We're both. You know, but at the moment we haven't allowed ourselves, we're afraid in a way to believe and bring those two together. And yet there is loads of help there for us spiritually.
Okay. My special guest, Lorna Byrne, we're talking about Angels in My Hair, her new book, The True Story of a Modern Day Irish Mystic. But bigger than that, we're talking about angels and their importance. And Lorna, let's talk again a little bit about the keeper of the threshold and the guardian angel. Is there a difference between the keeper of the threshold and your guardian angel, and also your higher self? How does all of that work together?
I suppose for me, you have to remember, from the moment I opened my eyes, I've seen the angels. I didn't know they were angels as such, you know, and I was told to keep it a secret. And you're talking in the sense of the threshold, as if there is, in a sense, rules and regulations in that way. But I have never been shown rules and regulations in the way humanly we explain it. It's like even the archangels, all the angels know that an archangel is that bit higher up, but yet there's no, yet an archangel is not saying to a guardian angel or to an unemployed angel or to a teacher angel, you know, you're below me. It's like there's this, how would I say, uniform, and it's level in that way. And I don't know if that is answering your question fully.
Okay, that's fine. It's fine. You know, you talked about asking, and in the back of the book, there's 12 ways where you can reach out to your angels and or ask for a sign. So I asked the other day for a sign, and I asked for the name of my archangel a couple of years ago, and I got a name. And I use that all the time, and it doesn't seem to matter to my guardian angel what the vibe I get is, it doesn't matter. You can want to use that name, that's fine. And when I ask to see my guardian angel, it's kind of like, you don't need to see me. So I asked the other day, which is fine. I just help you. Like one time I was on the highway and I said, I need a sign. And I almost had an accident, and it missed like at the last second because my attention was brought to the fact that things weren't going the right way on the road. And I could have gotten into a bad accident. And I was like, okay, that's a sign, I guess. The other day, in scheduling this and getting ready for the show, I asked my guardian angel for a sign. Well, nothing happened. And then that evening, along my arm, my wrist, was like about 12 slits on my wrist. And I couldn't believe it. And they were deep. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I actually put some silver on it. And it turned into like a rectangle with these lines across it. And then about a half hour later, it disappeared, and I forgot about it. And I mentioned it to my wife. We couldn't figure out, and I looked it up on the internet, you know, and nothing. And then this morning, I said, that was the sign. Is that possible?
Yes, that's possible, and that's a type of sign I have never heard of before someone being given. but I think it was given in the sense of really to get your attention, you know, not just for this interview, but for things within your life, to help you, to remind you to keep on tuning in to your guardian angel. And I love the way you said, you know, your guardian angel, you know, gave you the feeling, you know, it doesn't matter what you call me.
Mhm.
And that's very true. Like, that's, you heard your guardian angel clearly, because the most common name across the world is my guardian angel. You
Okay.
know, that is the most common. They don't mind, they will give you a name, all right, um, but it's never their full name.
Mhm.
It's only like a little part of it in that way. Like sometimes when I be giving a talk, you know, and you know, a family and that would come up for the blessing, and the parents would say, oh, can you tell my children, you know, the names of their guardian angel? Now some of the children could be 7, 8, 10, you know, and I never have to. It's very rarely I have to, because I ask the child, do you know the name of your guardian angel? And they tell me yes, and they tell me what it is, and the parents to be in such a shock, you
So
know,
that's amazing.
um, which
So
is which is lovely. Children are tuned in to their guardian angel.
mhm. Now, when you were a little girl, this started first happening for you. You actually see the physical aspect of the angel. It's not a visualization. You just see them, and they start communicating with you. What initially? What did you? Was that just something that was natural to you, Lorna, or was that something that you questioned? How did you feel about that?
I didn't question it as a child at all. Like you know, as an infant, I would be trying to reach up and play with them, and I didn't know they were angels. It was just at that particular time when I was playing with my brother in front of the fire, you know, and our hands touched. It was like as if his hand went into mine and mine went into his, and it was just sparks everywhere. And I remember laughing and just feeling such joy and doing it again. And it was at that time that the angel said that they were angels and I must keep it a secret. But they told me as well at that time was that my brother was a soul. He was different than them. And, you know, at times I would have seen him as an infant in my mom's arms when she'd fall asleep in the chair in front of the fire. And other times he would even be older than I, because he was born before me anyway. He'd be way older than myself. And I think, you know, they kind of kept on reminding me to keep it a secret. And I was considered retarded by the doctor, you know, that came to see my mom. And the angels used to just say to me when I would get upset if somebody was laughing at me or somebody was saying she's stupid, you know, they would just say they know no better, and they would comfort me, and that would be okay. And I learned very quickly that that was okay, because I was dyslexic, but severely. So I guess my mom was very worried that I wasn't talking, but I was all of the time communicating with the angels. And they have been my best friend. They are my teachers, my companions. And I have to smile because, you know, I wouldn't be doing this. And all of my life, every time they would say to me, you know, keep it a secret, don't say a word. And they used to tell me I would be locked up, you know, they were protecting me. But then when they started to say, you know, I would write that this is what God wanted,
Mhm.
I just thought they were crazy. And I thought God was crazy as well. You know, how on earth could
Right.
I write when I couldn't even write my name? And even today, writing my name, I can't talk to you at the same time when I'm writing it. I can't
Okay.
just scribble, you know, in that way. And eventually I said yes. You know, I always remember giving out to Archangel Michael when he said, it's getting near time for you to write. And time for the angels and gods, that spiritual time seems to be so different than ours, because my little daughter was only maybe 18 months or 2 in the pram when I was wheeling her. And it was years later that my husband Joe died. And it was after that that I said, okay, I'll write. And then the miracles started to happen. Everyone knew I couldn't read or write. I kept it a secret, but certain people knew. And I said it to someone, I'm going to write. And I know the look on their face was full of shock, because they knew, how do you spell bread? Can you write bread? You know what I mean? The ordinary thing.
Sure.
And that's how the miracles started, you know.
So you'd see, in your experience, Lorna, you see angels all the time?
I see
physically?
them. I don't see them on the screen. I can't see your guardian angel. That only happens on very rare occasions. But there's angels here in the room with me. I can turn and I can see who is actually here. And if I'm out on the street, like tomorrow, I'm going shopping with my daughter to do Christmas shopping. And I'm going to see lots of people, but I'm going to see the guardian angel with them. And I know I'm going to see loads of unemployed angels looking to be employed, looking to give a helping hand.
Let's talk about that, because I found it fascinating in the book. We have the guardian angels who can multitask, I guess. And excuse me, the archangels can multitask, if you will, for lack of a better word, and other angels have specific roles. And there's a group of angels called unemployed angels who are available, kind of looking for work. How does that all work? That's very interesting.
It is interesting. When I was quite young, one day, you know, I went out into the garden and the angels just told me to look up. And there I saw these angels just tumbling down from the sky, like as if, you know, a bucket was turned upside down. And they're literally in a ball in that sense. And it's like as they reach the earth, you know, just it's like maybe a couple of feet above it, they suddenly open up, and they are beautiful angels. And these are one angel that I see their wings at that moment. And and I haven't told anyone this before, you know, and their wings are always, how would I say, made of feathers, but these enormous feathers. But then as soon as they come down fully, I don't see their wings. You know, that would be very rare. But these unemployed angels, they're all the time whispering in people's ear. I think encouraging people to give people hope. And it's like they want to be employed. So I have to say, all over the world, and I have seen them where people have actually asked an unemployed angel to help them. You know, even someone carrying a bag or crossing a road, or I have seen where, you know, somebody started to cross the road and an unemployed angel stopped them going further. You know, they responded to the angel. And people now are asking for an unemployed angel for themselves, but they're asking now for unemployed angels to go to different places into the world and to strangers. And I always say to everyone, you don't just have to send an angel to someone who believes in angels. Please send the angels to everyone, you know, because we need them spiritually to help us, because we are a spiritual being as well.
So for folks who have passed, okay, your guardian angel's with you when you pass. Okay, let me keep it simple. What happens with the guardian angel after you pass and they help you with the transition?
Well, the way I'll put it for you is that, you know, when someone is dying, or even if they die suddenly, your guardian angel has hold of the soul. And the soul is that spark of light of God. It's so tiny, but yet so enormous. and it fills every part of the human body, but it's out there as well. You know, it's connecting to all of life. And at that moment, your guardian angel takes that soul to that place that everyone calls heaven. You don't die. It's only the human body that dies. You actually live forever. And to me, that is something that is so comforting for people. You know, you will meet your loved one when your time comes, but I don't want your time to come for a long, long time, or anyone else's. And your guardian angel will bring you there. And your guardian angel is your guardian angel for eternity. It cannot or ever be anyone else's. So it goes to heaven with you. And even when the soul may come back, which 99.9% they do, they come back to help those that are grieving, to help to comfort them, to let them know that they're okay. And the guardian angel is there as well.
Okay. Lorna Byrne, my special guest, the new book, Angels in My Hair, which is really her kind of life story. We're talking about angels. It's a great conversation. So people who have passed over, a lot of times folks want to contact, the parents might have passed or maybe a child. What's the best way to do that? Is that possible? Can we communicate with people who have passed, friends and family, loved ones?
Yes, we can. And I think sometimes when we feel we're not communicating, it's just that we're grieving so much. Sometimes we have to wait, and sometimes, someone else might come along to you and say, I could feel Mary or John, the other night, and I just want to let you know. So sometimes it happens in that way. But one thing, the soul of a loved one is giving you signs all the time as well. And again, it's, you to recognize those signs. Sometimes somebody would say, I was passing the mirror, or I was, passing my kitchen, and I was so sure they were in the kitchen, just for a split second.
Mm.
And again, that's your loved one trying to help you get through the grief in that way.
So since we have, I guess the most important angel for us is our guardian angel, coming back to that again, what's the best way for people, just on an everyday basis, if they're open, if they spend time in nature, as you strongly recommend, how can you on a daily basis have this relationship with your guardian angel to bring it to the most impactful way, so you don't feel separated, that you can really start to work together? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, there's, I have to smile, 1,000,001 different ways, one thing, when the angels would have me out in nature, they would have me put my hand on a leaf or on a tree, and then they would ask me to feel the energy of that tree, and then they'd ask me to step away, well away from the tree, and they would say, Lorna, can you feel our energy now?
Okay.
And you can. You start to get those tingles, and you might even get that gut feeling, what way to go. Just say you have a problem, what decision to make. And sometimes we don't listen to that gut feeling, or that voice we hear in our head, and we go the other direction. But lots of times people will tell you, I knew I should have gone the opposite direction. And I would always say then, the next time, it's like if my guardian angel said to me, or your guardian angel said to you now, turn around and move the cushion behind you. It's like, go and do it. Don't ask why. Don't be lazy. Don't say, what does it mean? Just go and do it. Exactly. Because you're learning to communicate, and you're learning to recognize that when there is something really important in your life, you'll actually move the cushion, and you will be so happy, and you'll say, I did that myself, but it was your guardian angel that helped you to get there spiritually, to do it yourself.
Okay, so if on a day-to-day basis, it sounds like we should work with our guardian angels, and then if there's specialty items, let's say you're writing an article, writing a book, or whatever, then do they recruit other angel resources to help you with that, or should you reach out on your own for like Edgar Allan Poe, your spirit? I need you to help me write this mystery story I'm doing. What's the best way to do this?
I love that. No, you don't. Your guardian angel already knows. If you're already aware of your guardian angel and you're sitting down to write an article, you know, if you want, you can say, "Come on, get someone here to help me, or you help me. Come on," like in that way. I need help here. But your guardian angel has already done it before you even sat down to write. It's already happening, but it's for you to be open enough, and everyone is open enough. I think they shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't be doubting yourself. And another thing people could do is write a letter to their guardian angel, and you can give out to your guardian angel, you know, because I'm always giving out. You know, you can even give out to God, tell him you're not having it anymore in that way. You want things sorted, please show me. And again, even with our own love, you know, your soul is pure love. You know, you can have a bottle full of milk and pretend that milk is love, and you can turn it upside down and it's pouring out and it empties, but it never empties from your soul. Your soul is constantly love in that way. And spiritually, you know, to love ourselves a little bit more. We're all the time being told we're not worthy to love ourselves. We're all the time being told, you know, no, you shouldn't forgive yourself. But you have to, because how can you love someone else or nature or anything unless you love you?
Of course.
That's so important.
In that same vein, Lorna, what's the best way? Because I think a lot of people have a challenge by opening up their heart, because we're taught just by our daily experiences and the way our cultures are to kind of be much more left brain, if you will, thinking where it's all logic and logistics instead of being more creative and more open. And I think it's so important for people to open up their heart. And it's not all that easy, but I guess we should ask our angel to help us with that, or should we ask spirit directly? When do we go to the angel? When do we go to the spirit?
Well, it's the only way I can put it to you that way. It's like it's already known. It's not when do I go? It's already happening in that way. And that's because you have, in a sense, decided or made the decision. You're not afraid to connect spiritually to your soul, to your guardian angel, to whatever spirit is going to come in to help you in that way. But it is so important to love yourself just even a little bit more. You know, I know we have that, I always call it this belt, you know, with this big buckle, and we have pulled it so tight. And it is because of, you know, culture. You know, it has been drummed into us for centuries that
fear, right?
Yeah, it's such a fear. We're so afraid of it. And sometimes we're even afraid in the sense that we say, oh, I don't want to get hurt. You know, but that's how you know it's love. Like many a time I say to people, you know, this is Christmas time now. It's coming up. It's the spirit of Christmas. It's that veil that has got a little bit thinner, you know, between the heavens and us in that way. So it gives us an opportunity to be kind to ourselves, not to be afraid to show love.
Okay.
You know, and we just have such a fear of being hurt, and we should let that fear away. We should not be afraid, because love is so precious. Love, you can't buy it. It's not for sale.
Let me ask you this, Lorna. What Well, many people talk about that the planet is ascending, not just people, but the planet itself is ascending. The energy is changing. We're getting energy from inside the earth pushing up. We're getting more energy from the sun coming through, and that there may be some type of event coming up, or something that creates a separation of people in terms of which some people will ascend at a certain pace and other people will ascend at a different pace, if you will. They have more to learn in the 3D, if you will. What do your angels tell you about all of that?
What way can I put it? We're also, change is happening, and we have to change, and we're terrified of it. But yet I have been shown so many incredible futures, and I never thought I'd be here for the futures that are already here in that way. But I have been shown where we do make those changes. We lose that fear, we grow more spiritually, and where our planet, is renewed again. Where children cross, a river without a bridge. I always use that one and their feet don't even touch the water. I know we can do it, and I know we're in kind of fear of, well, what's this big event that's going to happen? It's already happening. And I guess that's why God has me doing what I'm doing. Like I keep saying, why didn't you pick somebody else? A man. People will listen to a man more so than me in that way. But he decided me for some reason, and I can't even read or write. There is hope there, loads of hope. And I believe in mankind. I know we can do it. I know that intertwining of the body and soul will happen. And when that happens, and I believe it's even starting in tiny little ways, people won't get sick. Our world will completely change. It's like those children and the adults I was shown of the future. School won't be the same. I know technology will give out to me. We won't need technology. Everything completely changes. And we still have, as human beings, the human part of us, we still have so much to learn. The soul doesn't have to learn anything. It already knows. The soul can't be damaged or marked the way people are being told. That doesn't happen. That's just, in a sense, religion, and control. But your soul is pure, and it's pure light. I just love it that, we live forever. Your loved ones live forever. They're not dead.
Now, coming from Ireland, and I'm sure, you grew up a lot of Catholicism there, a lot of Catholics, and you have this gift, and you state that it doesn't matter what, according to the angels, it doesn't matter what religion anybody is. It's all good. And with your gift, has the church given you any pushback on that? Like you got to go, it's Jesus or forget about it? Or have you gotten any kind of challenges on that stuff?
Well, I suppose I have at times, because, that was one thing that I said to God, what will I call you? I said, do I call you Jesus? Do I call you Lord? And he just turned around and said to me, Lorna, what do you call me? And I just kind of looked. God, of course, what are you saying that for? I was so shocked. But the word God is universal. So when you use the word God, it's Jesus, it's Allah, it's right. All. God has millions of names.
Now, on the same vein, is there a hell? It sounds like there's a heaven. Is there a hell? Is there Satan? Is there real evil, or is it a dichotomy? How does it? Is polarity? What is it?
Okay, where shall I start? One thing I always say to people when that question is asked, especially in an audience, I would say, you must listen to my words, and the few words I say, and that is that God has never shown me him sending anyone to that place we call hell. you know, I know there is even evil and badness in the world, but I believe that comes mostly from ourselves as such, from pain and hurt. We let the negative in that way. And even though God at one time showed me that evil, I knew it was coming, but because of my faith, I was able to push it back in that way. I don't know if that's fully answering your
Yes, no,
question.
that's it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
The prayer, you mentioned the power, prayer is important. There's a power in prayer. How do we balance the power of prayer with some people? I mean, I always say God helps those who help themselves. So we can ask for guidance, we can pray, and, but we have to do things also.
yeah.
We have to create action. And sometimes we'll be correct, sometimes incorrect, but sometimes we do something that's incorrect that leads us to the correct path, or sometimes one door is closed and another is open. And praying is important, but we also have to do things. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, that is correct. Prayer is extremely powerful. I just say to people it can move mountains. But if you have to get up and wash the floor, you get up and wash the floor. The prayer is not going to wash the floor for you
Right.
in that way. But you have it clean, so it's like you're cleaning your slate. You're using the prayer, you're asking. And I always say, don't just, we have a habit of just praying for ourselves and our own loved ones. And I would say to you, do that, of course, that is important, but pray for the stranger. Pray for the person who can't pray for themselves.
Mhm. Beautiful. Okay, Lorna Byrne, my special guest, the new book, Angels in My Hair, the true story of a modern day Irish mystic. Where can people find out about your sanctuary, and what is your website?
Well, they can find out all about the sanctuary on the website, and it's lornabyrne.com. I'm not very good at this part, but the sanctuary again was just such a miracle. It was something that God had shown me when I was a child, and actually even had me there holding my hand and I looking out this big window, and he just saying, this is the sanctuary, this is where people will come, and this is where you will live. But of course, I live here in my own house. And just the way that miracle happened, I thought again, God was crazy to say such a thing. And a few years just before Joe died, we were passing by, go down to visit a friend, and we passed by these two pillars, and Archangel Michael was standing there. And it was like as if the car went in slow motion. And he just said, Lorna, you will live here one day. And again, I thought Archangel Michael was out of his mind, So just skipping the story, after Joe had died, my family said, Mom, you're traveling 6 to 9 months a year around the world. You're not going to be able to keep this up. We have to find somewhere for you to give talks locally. And just for a bit of fun, one of the ladies went in on the internet and found this place for sale. Of course, we've no money, we still haven't, and I have to smile at that. And my son showed it to me, and the first thing I saw was the pillars, and
Fantastic.
I was shocked, So that's the sanctuary. I know I can't
Okay.
keep talking
No,
about it.
okay. Let me spell out your name for everybody. So it's Lorna, Lorna Byrne, BYRNE.com. You can find out all about Lorna. She's got other books on angels also. And just you're doing God's work. And I want to thank you so much for being on our show. I hope you'll come back again, because I'd really like to get into more so we can share with people. But you're doing wonderful work. God bless you. And thank you, Lorna Byrne, for being on Guys Radio.
Well, thank you very much.
If you enjoy the guests and content I bring you each and every week to Guys Radio and Guys TV, please support us by subscribing to our channels. Thank you.